What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Broccoli Roast.
Yo.
Today I'm joined by the co-host, gone AWOL.
I'm back from the east.
Ladies, I know you were worried. He's back.
Last time we were online, I was incredibly sick. Actually, you were too.
We were both sick.
Happy to report.
So sick.
Feeling so much better. We've just gone for an amazing surf. The sun is out. Second day of summer. How would you rate it?
So hot, it's disgusting.
See, this is what I can't... he's from Adelaide, and for those of you from Adelaide, you know Adelaide, it's hot, it's dry, and from like this time until March, April-ish, it's dry, the sun's out, it's beautiful. And we've got Adelaide weather today.
It's not beautiful.
Why though?
Because it's so hot and dry.
It's hot. The wind was pretty dry today.
I don't deal with this. I don't deal with the heat. Like, I go to Bali, and within a week, I'm just starting to get me out of here.
See, I love it. I feel like your skin's so much healthier. Okay, not in Adelaide, but here, a bit of humidity. What are we drinking?
Little Mojos. Thanks, Mojo, for sending in some Mojo kombucha and filling up my fridge with cola.
Actually, really good. This
How
is
good is the cola one?
Second one for today.
Yeah, I know.
I feel a little bit indulgent.
So we're a little bit pissed.
Cheers, buddy.
Hey, I forgot to say, this episode, guys, is brought to you by Australia's childhood health crisis. It doesn't sound very good, does it? It's brought to you by the health crisis? No, it's brought to you by the documentary.
Right.
The short documentary. Australia's childhood health crisis. I've done it. I've been working on it this last month, and it's coming out next Sunday. So that's the 9th of December, 7 p.m. Sydney time. We're airing it for free on YouTube, so you have to subscribe to my YouTube channel to be able to get notified and see it.
Is it too early to give a plug? Because I actually only know a little bit about what you're doing. Can you do a plug now? Or?
Like, tell you about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is it like an up-and-coming you're going to wait till Sunday?
No, it's definitely not. We've just been looking at this current status of kids' health in Australia. Mm-hmm. It's not that good.
Why so?
In fact, it's
I think it's a really good topic. Let's go straight there.
Yeah.
What's the state of healthcare when it comes to children?
One of the biggest things that I've sort of come up throughout all the discussions has been like mental health, particularly. So 1 in 7 kids are affected by mental health challenges.
Wow.
Which is quite prominent. I would actually say that it's much higher now with social media presence and all this sort of thing. That's probably underreported. But they had 1 in 10, I think, or 1 in 10 kids had self-harmed.
Wow.
1 in 13 had committed suicide, and 1/3 of those had attempted to commit suicide. Huge.
That's scary. Do you know the stats on males? Because I've done a little bit of work with the Movember Foundation and Beyond Blue, and I know that the stats for men, but also teenagers, youth, kids, I don't know what age bracket we're talking, but
0 to 18.
the stats for kids 0 to 18 with male health, and it's not just male health, but in that bracket is astronomically terrible.
It is. I mean, major depression was higher in girls, adolescent girls, than boys.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, this is interesting because obviously there must be a switch there where as we get into our 20s and 30s, you start to see males become more affected by depression, I believe. But if you look at the differences in like ADHD was huge. I mean, only 5% of girls, under 5% of girls have ADHD and 10% of boys, so like double. 1 in 10 boys, less than 1 in 20 girls.
What's your interest behind this? Because this is like, I know it's within the vein of what you're doing, but kids' health, why? Why doco on it?
I don't know, really. It just came up. It's one of those things that kept coming up. I had so many mums, and probably you guys listening, so many mums used to come up at talks, at movies, saying like, please do something on kids' health. Please write a book for kids, or blah, blah, blah. So anyway, when Bodhi came into the world, my nephew, which you guys would have seen in the Gut movie and all that, maybe all over Instagram, when he came into the world, it's kind of like, you see what parents go through, you see how decisions they make are then sort of judged or
scrutinized.
Yeah, scrutinized in a massive way.
It really is, massively.
So I just thought, look at the healthy upbringing that he gets to get. He gets to have and experience, and the huge lifelong benefits that he will experience from that. I think every kid deserves that, surely.
Well, when you look at and you think about the rise of, when I say rise of, not in a good way, the rise of ill health linked to so many factors of modern day living.
Yeah.
It's indisputable that physical illness has such an effect on the mind. and vice versa. They feed
Yeah.
off each other. And, you know, I'm sure that anyone listening to this, watching this right now, has been touched by, you know, mental health problems in their family or extended family. My nephew, his best friend recently this year, you know, committed suicide. And it's so tragic to see one incident, one effect have such a lasting impact on so many people's lives, and so much confusion, and I wouldn't say doubt, but just mismatched understandings of and treatment for. It's kind of like these parents, one of the conversations I've had, it's like they feel helpless either after the fact or before, in the sense that support and awareness is not as good as it could be.
Yeah, but I mean, how do you... It's like 13 Reasons Why, that whole thing about how much you actually know about what your children are going through,
So true.
particularly when they go through to high school.
Yeah.
But I think one of the best things, I think, as Jordan Peterson said, the best thing you can do is enable your kids to deal with problems. Because the problems aren't going to go away. It's to toughen your kids up as
Build
much
that
as possible.
resilience.
And I think you do that emotionally and spiritually, but you also do that nutritionally. Because we know that when the body is fortified with an adequate amount of nutrition and a balanced microbiome and low inflammatory levels, then the mental space is better. So I guess that's where I'm coming from in this. And I'm also coming at it from a different way and sort of saying... hey, let's try and empower the kids a little bit and give them a story which helps them sort of connect the dots a little bit and give them a tangible character to look after every time they eat, like Mandy.
Yeah.
Like,
I love it. I love
Mandy.
it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's where it was all born. It's like, okay, well, how are we going to release the book? How are we going to like add value and release the book this time?
Have you done teasers on the artwork yet or anything?
Tiny bit. Yeah.
You guys, you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat. And the thing I love about that as well is that, you know, a book like that or any book that's educational from the creative space, it really opens up the mind for anyone, parents and kids alike, to go on that learning journey. And I think it's awesome.
I want to turn it into a film.
When's it being released?
Next week.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sunday. Okay.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
I didn't realize it was a double, so it's the doco and the book.
Yeah, same time. So that's sort of, we're weaving the two together.
Do I get an autograph copy?
You can have an autograph copy.
Do I have to pay for it?
Yes, $70 for you.
Such a good guy. I say this every week. Such a good guy.
What have you been up to lately?
Mate, you asked me this
Left
question.
us.
I have. I've been exploring back east.
Sounds rich.
For those of you who know Kale, you'll know that he very much loves northern beaches. He loves a quiet lifestyle. He loves simplicity and ease. And him in traffic, even today, coming back from Whale Beach, which is how many kilometres? 3 kilometres?
Maybe, yeah, something like that.
He knows all the shortcuts. Put it that way.
It's annoying.
It's
It's one of those situations where I still have not progressed emotionally.
No, I think growing up in Adelaide, we had the luxury
maybe
where
that's what it is.
we really did not have. Maybe it's worse now, but when we were growing up, it was not bad.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't amazing either.
True. It took me 45 minutes the other day to get from North Bondi, to Bondi Junction, which is, I don't know the exact distance. It's not far. Like, normally it takes me 5 minutes to drive. It took me 45 minutes when we had the downpour.
Oh, the rain.
Cyclonic
So everyone sort of
weather.
stops in the rain.
It's just like,
Everyone
I don't know
freaks.
why, but cars and people and weather and
Are all annoying.
live in the northern beaches. You don't have to put up with it.
Yeah. So you're back east.
Yeah, back east, but north today. Catching up with you.
It's been a good day.
It's been a great day.
So hot though.
So nice.
Too hot.
Went down to Whale Beach Cafe. Is that what they call it? No, Whale Beach Deli.
Yeah, the boathouse essentially.
All day breakfast. The other boathouses, they cut off their breakfast
Yes.
like at 1 o'clock or something.
11.
It's 11.
Yeah. It's annoying, eh? If you're fasting. Doing some fasting, guys. Come on.
I was so excited when we rocked up. I saw on the board it said, it didn't say all day breakfast. It said whatever the opening time is till 3 p.m. I was just like,
Yeah, it's like all day menu.
Oh,
7 till 3.
hallelujah.
Yeah. Oh, they're
Amazing.
good too.
so good.
Andrew, the owner, is the nicest guy.
Coolest car as well.
Yeah, that was a Mercedes.
70s-ish. So cool.
Such a
So
good
cool.
guy. Yeah. I love what they've done there.
Yeah.
How good is going out for food?
It's good. It can get expensive.
Yeah, but it's worth it.
It's an investment. The way I look at it is, and I have to thank one of my ex's parents for this. He had a really interesting perspective on life, and that was you're always making investments with your time, with your money, your resources, your energy, etc. And he had this whole concept of lifestyle investment. And I grew up in very much the opposite. Not to say my parents haven't lived. We've traveled well. We've done amazing things. But he had this real paradigm around investing in your lifestyle as much as you would invest in a house, as much as you would invest in your education or whatever it is.
I like this guy.
It's good. It really opened my mind up to a place of permission to say, you know what, I can invest in rather than scrounge around and save by not going out for that coffee. Because you miss out on the experience. And life is all about experiences.
100%. Someone else who eats out a lot is Damien.
Oh, yeah, Dr.
Damo.
Yeah.
Dr. Damien
Dr.
Christoph.
Damo.
He eats out at least once, twice a day sometimes. I think.
Really?
Yeah. I think. I'm pretty sure. At least once, especially during the week.
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
Not sure.
But it's sort of... when did it happen? It happened when I came to Sydney because there are so many different spots. So I've got Rough and Bear... Anthony's Cafe, which is amazing. You've got the boathouse after surfing. It's the best thing ever to go for a surf in the morning and then come in and just sit.
Yeah.
And just sit and slow down and get a coffee or get a turmeric latte or have the trout plate. The trout plate there is just...
Trout plate's amazing, although...
This is almost like an advert for the boathouse.
I know. Brought to you by...
They're doing well enough, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's true though. I think about that sometimes. I'm like, I went out for breakfast yesterday. Should I? I hate those shoulda, couldas. But the way I look at it as well is I do a lot of work from home. So when I'm at a cafe, I'm like, well, I'm not paying rent or I'm not driving to an office. So I do need an outlet. I think it's important if you're working, if you're creative, if you're working on the go or at home, it can be tough.
Yeah.
We've talked about this, like the whole creative lifestyle where it all comes back to you. Like you're driving every aspect of the business. You might be outsourcing things, but you are responsible. Like you don't and you can't afford sick days.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
So when we're sick, not that we're screwed, but we have to. We don't have the choice. When you're running a business, I'm sure anyone listening to this will know that if they've got any level of responsibility like that.
You don't take days off. This is the thing. My brother's the same. He's a builder, owns a successful building company, does not take days off. Always on the phone, always organising shit. Even like me, just before you got here this morning, working for an hour and a half, setting up tomorrow, which is a massive shoot day. And last week was disgustingly busy, 14-hour days and mostly computer bound, which is my worst case scenario.
He told me
you
surfed what, twice?
I surfed twice last week. That's sickeningly low if you're...
That's almost the PV in the negative for you.
It is. What is it? It's like a personal worst. It's a PW.
A PW.
Fuck, PW.
I think that means prisoner of war.
Does it?
POW.
Oh, POW. I may as well have been.
Chained to the camera and the laptop.
Comparable, I think. Editing for 14 hours and being in a concentration camp.
But the flip side of being creative, the flip side of running your own business or even if you've got a side hustle is that you have the responsibility of the commitment to it, but you also have the opportunity for flexibility. You and I do have flexibility over, but we do put in the time elsewhere.
Yeah.
I.e. on a Sunday, you're working, or I'll work sometimes till 9 or 10 o'clock at night if I've had a busy morning or if I've gone sauna, gym, swim, surf or something.
Yeah. You don't start till 12.
Well, a bit sporadic. It's good.
Those days.
It's a great lifestyle. I think, and I love the rise of, as much as social media and the internet has opened up a can of worms for every age bracket, I think, in terms of focus and presence and stuff like that, it has opened up a plethora of opportunities and a platform for people to explore their passions and to turn YouTube videos like yours. What's yours?
Dude, we're going nuts.
What's it called again?
How to Rip.
How to Rip. Check it out.
They might know this.
Okay, well, tell them about it. I think this is fascinating to me because you guys put up a comical. It wasn't ever really serious, right?
Well, it was serious. The content was relatively serious.
Okay.
Easy,
I thought it was more like comical.
Easy, Jay. This is serious shit. This is surfing. So basically, I'd finished at Channel 10.
Yeah.
I had read The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. And he's
book.
all about
Great book.
whatever you're an expert in, turn it into a business.
I love it.
So I was like, sweet, well, I've got this health thing, but let's do a surfing thing. So I was in Bali. No. I was in Nepal. And I messaged my friend Ryan and was like, yo, let's do this business together. So I had all these like TV skills and, you know, whatever filmmaking skills from being at Channel 10. So I wrote this whole script about
How to rip.
how to surf, basically. Like ripping and surfing is like surfing well. So how to rip, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we turned into this thing and we used Tim Ferriss's like 4-Hour Chef learning principles.
Uh-huh.
So we broke down the fundamentals basically and put it into this 25-minute clip. And then we turned it into a DVD. And the original idea was like to sell the DVD to someone. And then we had I won't say the name. Should I say the name? I won't say the name.
Don't say that.
We had this big company, big shop, who you would all know, who used to sell surfboards, foam boards, and they were thinking about buying a DVD for every board they sold.
No way.
Yeah. So we had
Really?
like $100,000 deal. And we were
How
going,
did you line that up?
I don't know. We knew someone who ended up showing it to them, and they were like,
So they saw the DVD before you sold the concept.
yeah. They loved it. So we had this huge deal going, and I was like, oh my God, I'm 21, I'm getting $100,000, I'm retiring.
I'm going to move to Northern Beaches and surf every day.
Yeah. And the deal fell through because their board supplier stopped giving them boards because they didn't want to deal with them anymore. And we were like, no. So we hit rock bottom. We're like, no, we're not going to make any money. And then we were like, stuff it. We'll upload it to YouTube.
Yeah.
So I uploaded it to YouTube, and then that was that. Went away, did our own thing for ages. Like, I was in Bali doing some stuff.
So you weren't tracking any metrics. You'd
not
literally
look
thrown it up there just for fun.
Threw it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Did not touch it. And didn't even monetize it. Stupidly. And then Ryan calls me like 4 months later. He goes, look on YouTube. Look on YouTube. He sends me a link, and I found our video on YouTube. 150,000 views.
What?
And we're like, whoa, this is huge. Blah, 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 blah. So we monetized the video.
What does that mean for people watching? They may not
So
have
like
no idea.
you get money from YouTube. This is how YouTubers earn money and vloggers earn money. They like get money from ads rolling before, during,
Which is so
or over the top
frustrating
of
when you're
the
watching
videos.
YouTube.
Yeah, but if you want to support a creator, the best thing you can do is actually let the ad play out.
Right, so not hit skip.
Not hit skip.
I hit skip all the time.
Yeah, so do I. But if I like the creator and I'm not in a rush, I'll just let it play out to support them.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to know.
So anyway, that's how we were getting money. So we started getting a little bit of money, like $100 a month, blah, blah, blah. Not much. And then, so we ended up with like 8,000 subscribers after one video, which is pretty huge for YouTube.
Wow.
And we had all these comments were like, okay, look, let's put up a few more videos.
Brought to you by Mojo.
I'm just going to put some audio spikes in there to cut it out. I just burped. Okay, cool. No, we started uploading more videos, right? We started uploading more videos. And eventually that original video is now sitting at 2 million views.
Amazing.
We've got 20,000
Crazy.
subscribers. And we're uploading content quite regularly. And now we're about to get like $1,000.
Amazing.
$1,000 a month.
Amazing.
Just for like, and it's a very passive income. But that, by the way, I won't let you guys get away without doing a little plug here. Everything that we did to achieve that is in my media course, my online media mastery course.
Awesome.
Which you can check out from the website. So I teach you how to shoot stuff and create stuff based off your own expertise. But that's what we did. So yeah, no, long story short, the social media space has opened up a huge opportunity for people to... The barriers to you engaging directly with your consumers have been broken down, which is pretty cool. But it's also kind of weird. I mean, you're from Bondi. You know what it's like.
I'm from Adelaide.
Yeah, but you're in Bondi
Live
quite a
in
lot.
Bondi.
The what do I call them? The entrepreneur. What are they called?
I
again?
don't know. Yuppies.
Entrepreneur influencers.
Oh my God.
Entrepreneur influencers. You know, all those girls who like
There's
models and they do all this in their little bikinis and they're on their thing. It's like entrepreneur. It's like, really? Probably not.
Do you know what though? To their credit, and I know of a couple, they're doing well. Like a few girls that I know, they've started their own bikini labels.
Yeah.
They're plugging. They're very systematic about it, and I'm not sure. And this is what I'm always intrigued about: is how much of that front is purposed. You know, like presenting a brand or an image as being a certain way, entrepreneur or whatever it might be. I don't know. Yeah, I hear there's a lot of wannabes, and I think the difference between wannabes and people who actually make something of something is that you're not afraid to try. You're not afraid to get up there and post 100 videos.
Yeah.
Because you never know. What that video might have not gone gangbusters.
I know. And it was our first video, which is super
Unheard
rare.
of.
Yeah.
And especially today, like, because the algorithms have changed.
Yeah.
advertising, YouTube, everything. The platform's getting harder.
So hard to break in now, yeah.
But I think as well, for anyone who wants to get creative.
100%. I mean, that's the thing, that those platforms all prioritise engaging content, which keep people on there the longest.
Yeah.
So, like, anything you're doing to do that. But no, I agree. Like, you'd never take it away from someone who's making $1 million off Instagram just by posting photos of their boobs or whatever. But at the same time, I feel like that sort of platform, you could change the world.
Yeah.
You know, like, use it in a positive way.
Well,
I'd love to have 1 million people follow me just for that reason.
It's irony, isn't it? Because the word influencer, in my mind,
Totally,
I think
yeah.
you're influencing for good. Not saying these girls who are promoting beauty products and whatever aren't.
Yeah.
There's a great guy by the name of Prince something or other. Can I find him?
Yeah, Prince EA. Prince EA or whatever. Yeah, really good content. Love it.
He's got the most amazing content. There's this one video he does where it basically says this whole speech is, you're an influencer.
Yes, I've heard that one.
If you're not influencing for good, what are you influencing? It's powerful.
I wish all the entrepreneur influencers in Bondi would listen to that one.
Let's plug it.
He's good. I really like that guy. There's another guy who I'm really hoping to work with on the next film, Jason Silver.
Oh yeah.
So he's big in philosophy, and he's probably someone that I would even more align with. But his philosophical ramblings, essentially online, feel tied in with beautiful imagery.
Yeah.
It got him onto Nat Geo, and he was the host of Brain Games for ages. Yeah.
Wow.
And now he's this huge brand.
I feel like, by and large, people have become disdain towards the prettiness of Instagram and social media, which is cool because I think people want real. Yeah. People want to see and engage with content that is not just the memes that are flying through and wish it well and do this, and that's all great. But they want real. They want something that's tangible, that's got a bit of meat to it.
Yeah, but then also it's like, how much of your life do you put up?
True.
So I know something that I struggle with is actually sharing really, like, it's almost like it's cultivated. It's quite cultivated because you want to reserve like a part of you for you.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want everyone to know exactly who you are.
True.
Do you? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't know what the guidelines are there.
Well, I guess it depends what your end outcome is and how much of you're willing to give to that.
Yeah.
You know, think of someone like Oprah.
Yeah, I suppose.
I wonder from her point of view how much of her she's put into her brand and how much she's reserved. Because I'm sure there's parts of her that we would know nothing about.
Yeah. Probably. Heaps of them.
She was one of my idols growing up.
Really?
Which sounds pretty unique. Growing up, and
she's a pretty impressive woman.
Like when I was 14 years old, I've got older sisters, they would watch it, I would pick up things. I wrote a letter to her when I was going to Chicago.
Wow. Did she read it?
No.
Oh.
I was so disappointed. I was like shattered because I was going with my sister. I was turning 15.
What did you say?
I was turning 15. My birthday was in January. We were going over maybe December, January. I can't remember. And they have a cutoff or a starting age limit of 16.
For what?
To be a member of her audience.
Oh.
And I so desperately wanted to go. So I wrote her this letter and I was like...
Protest.
Not a protest, more so a plea. A plea. And then I had a caveat to that. I said, look, if you can't fulfill my request, can you put me in touch with a girl by the name of Larissa Oleynik, who was the star of a kids program called The Secret World of Alex Mack.
You didn't.
I did.
This
I was
so
like,
funny.
I had visions in my mind. I was like, I'm either going to go as a member of the audience or she's going to bring me on stage and introduce me to Larissa Oleynik.
Oh, that is so funny.
Neither happened.
How do you approach like big people now? If you had to write a letter to Oprah now, you needed something from her. How would you do it differently?
How I would do it differently
because
is...
this, by the way, I deal with this in terms of people approaching me, and I deal with this of approaching way bigger people than me. So I see both of it.
I think where society has gone wrong and is changing to some degree is we're very much a get society. What can I get? And it's not even a conscious thing always. I think it's built into our unconscious of we're all trying to get ahead.
Yeah.
We're all trying to get to a place, driving somewhere, whatever it might be. And for me, the way I've approached and the way that I would, if I was hypothetically reaching out to Oprah, is I would try to get their attention in the way of how can I serve you? How can I give something to you? Which means I've got to get creative in my mind to think, okay, what might be something that is not a lure, not a bait, because I'm not doing it to get anything from it, but how can I generally step into a space where I could give something to Kale, for example, if I wanted to get his attention. He loves to surf. I'd probably send you like, I'd find out your favorite bloody kombucha or surfing wax or whatever, and I'd probably buy you a box and say, dude, love your work, don't want anything back, just want to say keep going.
Yeah, it's smart.
And I would generally do it, not in a marketing sense to try and get you to respond back. I would generally do it from a point of view, I just want to say thank you because I really respect you in your space.
It's like the bigger the people get, the less stuff they're missing, the less holes there are for you to actually potentially fill.
Yeah.
So it's like someone like Oprah, it's like, what are you going to do? You're not going to be like, hey, I'll do your social media.
Here's a box of oranges.
Yeah. She's like, I own an orange orchard. Orange grove. Yeah. So, no, it is interesting that the people who I find take most irksome, the people who I find most irksome are the people who email me and go, hey, I've got this idea. Can you give me a call? Here's my number.
Yeah.
Hate it.
I had
It's
somebody
so rude,
this week, a person I met in my travels. She's in the health space and she'd sent me this prelude saying, hey, hope you're well, doing well.
Doing well.
And she goes, by the way, you're in the health space and you've got this following and blah, blah, blah. Can you please promote my new, I won't say what it is, and do this for me, do this for me. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I didn't even respond. And I know that I probably should have said something, but I was just like I haven't seen you for almost a year, number one.
Yeah.
And it just felt so artificial, so contrived that I felt used.
Yeah.
Before the fact that it even happened, you know?
Well, it's weird. It's like, I mean, it's like when we do the Gut Summit and all these different things, like never do we force the speakers or whatever to send out things to their audience or whatever. We always just say, hey, if you want to share it, we'd really appreciate it.
Yeah.
If not, whatever. We don't care. The whole thing with like people want to get you on the phone, like there's no barriers. That's what that in their mind, there's like no barrier between.
Which is funny because I feel like 90% of people, probably higher, would love to give. The people that you've met, the influencers.
Yeah, totally.
And I feel like you only get to a certain level of life by giving, not by getting.
Well, yeah, like almost any level, you kind of have to give enough service to
of
be
your
able
time,
to
your
reach a
energy,
level.
you're putting value out into the marketplace. In a relationship, you're giving.
Yeah.
And you don't give to get, you give because you love that person and you want to, be that person for that other person. And it's interesting, isn't it? And yet we're in a society where people are grabbing and trying to get for themselves. Grasp.
What have you done that you wish you didn't in that space? Have you ever made like a business decision or asked somebody something where you're like just fully regret it?
No,
I
never have. I've reached out to a number of influential people. I'm trying to think back. You've really tested my memory now. I'm thinking back. I used to, when we ran and had a gym in Adelaide, I used to reach out to a lot of key individuals there and in Australia, and I would send them a personal letter, and I would send it via their workplace, and I would kind of get past the barriers that would be in place. And I always offered something, and I don't know, I can't think of any time where I've regretted any approach. You?
Yeah.
Really?
I remember when I was in school, I used to play footy and was quite successful in my football career. But obviously
Must be the big feet.
But must be the big
Wide
feet.
feet.
But I started using the big feet for surfing instead. And so I knew all the AFL footy players. So I used to when I started getting into health and we built the online store and stuff, I'd be like, hey, we've got these new protein powders you can try out. And then I remember being real low key at the time, real small deal. And they were like, yeah, sweet, we'll try them. I'm like, yeah, $30.
No.
I remember doing that once. And I remember going, oh yeah, probably shouldn't have done that.
So let me ask you again. My autograph copy, how much?
70.
I'll pay you.
No, please
I'll pay
don't.
you in kombucha.
No, someone posted the other day, I can't remember who it was, on their Facebook about books. And they said, and I actually found it a little bit harsh. They were sort of saying like, oh, all my friends expect a copy of my book.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm not giving it to them. If you want to support me, you can buy it. Like, it was a little bit rough, and I sort of took a step back and was like, oh. I was like, I always give friends books. Because I'm like, yo, this might change their life.
And you don't know, like...
And you don't know who they'll give it to.
Who they know, who they'll give it to, who they'll spruik it to.
Yeah.
And friends and family are probably the ones that are going to do that most.
Yeah.
Or people that know you, know your work, love it. They're going to be, man, check this book out. It's amazing.
Totally. Yeah, no, it's a little bit strange that people sort of do that. But, you know, it's all like you said, it's all a give-take thing, isn't it?
So tell us, what can parents or people in general do in regards to, coming back to our original opening topic, children's health?
Yeah.
What are some really, and I don't know the focus of the doco in particular.
You'll see.
I can't
Next
wait.
Sunday.
Next Sunday.
December 9th, 7 p.m.
7 p.m. Can you remind me? Can you send me a link?
I can.
Because I'll forget.
I'm going to post
I'll
it on
totally
Instagram.
forget.
I'm going to go.
No. You got to send me a direct message, Jay, turn on your Instagram.
Hey, if you're not...
Facebook, YouTube.
If you don't care about it enough to put it in your phone, Jay... So while Jay puts a little calendar reminder in... No.
But seriously, what are some, like from your perspective, and you obviously investigated a lot into this spectrum and asked a lot of questions, like what are some takeaways or some prelude takeaways that can get us going in our own thoughts? Because it is a serious thing where I've got nieces and nephews, I see them growing up in a society that's changed so much, even in the years from when you and I were teenagers growing up.
Yeah, I can't really remember. I only remember like token overweight kids.
Yeah,
and now it's 1 in 4 now.
Wow. 1 in 4.
And autism, 1 in 63.
Compared to when?
It used to be, what was 1 in 1,000?
When?
At the turn of the last century. I think it was 1901 or whatever.
Wait, so we're going from 1 in 1,000 to 1 in 63.
So if you talk about increased diagnosis, which a lot of people do, you could maybe account for like another, 50, 70% of that. But as I spoke with Dr. Natasha Campbell-McBride about this, and she's like, well, where are all the autistic 30-year-olds?
Yeah, true.
She's like, if 30 years ago we weren't diagnosing it, where are they?
Wow. Good perspective.
Yeah, huge. But I was like, mic drop.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Where are they? So what is going on there? Anyway, we don't go into that in the
subject,
this doco, but
Good
it's
topic.
huge, and I'd recommend Dr. Natasha for that. But yes, I think one of the biggest things, and I was speaking with Emma about this, because Emma, my girlfriend, did her dietetics honours it was on a study on like barriers to getting families involved with health or whatever. And they found that it was much more effective. They were able to create much more effective change when the whole family was engaged on the topic, as opposed to just engaging the kids or just engaging the parents.
Really?
So that's really, I think, what I'm starting to realise is that it needs to be a family thing. Kids mimic, they imitate. That's how they learn. So parents have to be on board with getting their kids to eat healthy. You can't be sinking 4 beers on a Friday and then telling your kid that it's not allowed to have soft drink.
What is it? 7% of communication is words?
Yeah, 7%.
7%, which means 93% of what we're communicating to our kids, and me as an uncle to my nieces and nephews,
behaviour
is not in words.
Yeah.
And it's hard because I think you look at adults, which by the age of 35 roughly, in terms of the automation of routines, habits, thoughts, perspectives, very much set in concrete and hard to change. Not impossible, but hard to change once you become an adult past 35. If we're going in and saying kids do this, don't do that, and yet they're coming in and seeing us on the screens, which is confronting.
Huge, yeah.
Confronting with this little app thing now that tells you how long you're on your phone.
How long were you? I was at hour 5 last week.
And
Per day.
Yeah, 0 probably.
0?
No, I wasn't.
You're a lot.
I leave my screen open because I'm listening to YouTube.
Okay. Excuses. No, but that's another thing. Excuses. While you're making one. There is a lot of people. People are pointing the finger at the Australian government for our kids' health issues. I think they have a part to play, and they're not playing it that well. But at the same time, it ultimately comes down to us. We need to take responsibility for our health and our family's health, because change never comes from the top down; it comes from the ground up. And our health our health system is not set up to prevent disease. It's set up to treat disease. Okay, and that's just the way things are. And maybe that'll change. We hope it'll change with discussions like this, but it's going to take a while. Greg Hunt, for instance, if you're listening, Greg, he's the Federal Minister of Health, refused to get back to us.
Really?
I called his media team about 4 times trying to discuss the issue. Not on his agenda, because you know what? He's interested in pharmacology and treatment of disease. He's probably got he's embedded in a pharmaceutical approach.
Yeah.
And those ties between industry and government are so intimate and blurred that there's no incentive for people to get healthy now.
It's true.
Besides our own motivations.
And it's costly in terms of not just money, in terms of knowledge and headspace and time and energy. Like it takes and costs time and money to actually make a change. Doesn't matter if you're talking at a government level or at a personal family level. It's not hard. That's the thing though. I think it's just a headset change that needs to take place, like you said, from the ground roots up, where if as a family you can make changes together, small things. The biggest thing I see is people underestimating the power of small wins.
Totally.
Small
incremental changes.
It is huge. 1% is every single day. Remember this. Small hinges swing big doors.
Ooh, you're so wise.
I'm old.
You are.
You are. Love it. No, but it's serious. Small hinges swing big doors. And when we're faced with a problem, whether it's obesity or something like that, if we're talking health, we tend to focus on the problem from a curative point of view. If we looked at the frame, the door frame, we looked at the hinges of what are the 1% incremental changes we can make, because that grows confidence in our ability. It empowers us, right? And we underestimate what it is, the impact that it can have on our lives if we just take a small step. And it feels so good and it develops momentum, something I call confidence momentum. Ooh, where
that's nice.
As you develop confidence through taking action, kicking wins, having wins, whatever it might be, you start to develop momentum that builds confidence in your ability to step out and go, well, if we did this, let's try this. Let's do that. And it really is something where it catches on like wildfire. You've got to be persistent though, because it takes time.
Love it. That's a good little spiel to finish off on.
We're running out of time, aren't we?
We are. We're going to finish, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to stay up to date with Jay or myself, follow us on Instagram at Jay Gearing. He's back.
I'm back.
Or at Kale's Broccoli down below. Remember this episode? Oh, yes, on the child health crisis. Next Sunday, December 9th, 7 p.m. It's going to be premiering on my YouTube channel at Kale's Broccoli, youtube.com/Kale's Broccoli, or just Google it.
Putting it in my phone.
Thank you. It's about time. Jeez. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next time.
Ciao.